From your perspective, do you believe the world has problems?
Oh, definitely.
And if so, can you offer some examples?
Well, the people overseas, there's a lot of people overseas starving. There's a lot of people kids in America starving. For a nation that's one of the richest nations on the planet, to have people that are starving, don't make it, like some old lady on welfare who's getting $600 a month or something, just barely gets by, and she's eating cat food. That's just appalling. And then you go to places like California, around Los Angeles, et cetera, that people retire and they don't have any bills at all, and their house is paid for and the whole 9 yards. They've worked hard for that, but they can't live there anymore. And the reason is because they can't afford the property tax, and they got to sell out, or they got to do something. So, got to eat.
What do you think it takes to solve the world's problems?
Well, I think the wealth, especially in America, I think the 1% should be held accountable with their taxes and so on and so forth. And that started with Reagan. Reagan's the one that took the 1%ers down to the kind of money they're paying now, which is ridiculous. And you get some people like that woman who's the head of Disney. She wants to pay her taxes. She wants to pay her fair share. And we pay, I think, somewhere about 33 to 35%. And if you sit down and figure out your paycheck, that's about what it comes out to, I think. But I don't know. Money would certainly help, and I'd like to see not having such a canyon between the rich and the poor. I think that the people that work, everybody deserves a living wage. Australia has had a living wage of $15 an hour as a minimum wage for years and years and years, and several years back they had a terrible recession, and it didn't hurt anything, because those people make $15 an hour and they had savings to fall back on, and so on and so forth.
Can you please introduce yourself, your branch of service, and when you served?
I'm Rick Storm. I was in the Army, 1969, 1972. Yeah, I was in the Vietnam conflict. Yeah. Missile and munitions at Redstone Arsenal in Huntsville, Alabama. Did basic in Fort Leonard Wood. At the time, I was really young and thought about, had other priorities, of course, and but I figured I'd make the best of it, and I did. I enjoyed it. I made a lot of good friends, and got some really good training, and I grew up all of a sudden.
Do you think that the decisions made by the government when you were in the military hold any reflection on the current state of human morality we see today?
I don't think the government's capable of making any kind of good decisions. So that's, you get the impression that, there's a second lieutenant who's going to know what's going on. And, so after you get done talking to him, he doesn't know any more than you do. So, and when there's war, it's so chaotic that I don't think that, there may be an upper echelon somewhere that knows what's going on, but the guys on the ground don't. A lot of times they don't want to tell you.
Do you think the overall health of the American people have seen an incline or a decline over the last 100 years?
Oh, I think people are healthier today.
Mental health? Overall?
It depends on the age. I think it depends on the age with mental health. I see a lot of young people that are just, addicted to video games and television and cell phones, and their screen time is what rules them, and they're not critical thinkers. They don't want to be, and if you try to educate them, they cop an attitude about it, and so I think that Ronald Reagan did a terrible disservice to the world, because he close down all the mental institutions in California and put all those people on the street. And, there's a great deal of homeless people that are on the street that have problems, and physical, mental, emotional, whatever you want to call it. And, they need help. It's that simple.
Do you think the American people can unite and be the country leading the focus on solving the world's problems?
I think they could certainly be a piece to the puzzle. I don't think it's. I think it's a collective effort. Germany, Sweden, Europe, France, Italy, whatever needs to be involved, so that there's a great deal of stuff in Europe that's really good ideas, and America should adopt some of that stuff.
Do you think our country's upcoming graduates have the focus of making the world a better place?
Yeah, I think there's a percentage of them that do. I think there's a percentage of them that don't care. There's a percentage of them that want, to be financially successful. And there's a lot of people out there, like you were talking about yesterday, can't work in their field that they're educated in. And that's sad. But I think there's, what you're doing is a admirable thing. I think it's a wonderful thing, and more young people need to take the bull by the horns, and there's a lot of people out there there's a percentage out there that's doing that, of young people that's educated or getting educated, but it's not enough. I think and the other thing, I think that every single one of them ought to serve in the military. When you turn 18 years old, you go to the military, whether you want to or not. And the only thing they do is let you pick, and you go for a couple of years and learn that you have to contribute, and that's how they could control that.
Would you support my efforts with $1 to build plus operate a modified confidence course training program that is intended to be offered to the civilian citizens of America in an effort to unite the people in just cause of solving the world's problems?
Sure.